What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another Arsenal therapy. Although it's not as serious as usual, you know, we're going to downgrade it. It's just Arsenal advice. It's just Arsenal awareness. After a bad Saturday and an emotional Saturday, Sunday and Monday has gone a little bit more... It's gone a little bit better than expected. So, yeah, I had a nice Nando's yesterday afternoon, people. I couldn't put Harry on the green screen. I'm sorry, it was too much. You know, the intro was the most I could do. It's not like he won us the title yesterday. But it is what it is, people. Big up to each and every one of you on this Monday. And shout out to Pep Guardiola, because we've got Guardiola. We've got... Guardiola, we've got... I mean, you might not have him for much longer, I can't lie, people. Manchester City have been financially doping. They've been injecting money everywhere, people. And are they finally going to get their just desserts, people? Man City being charged by the Premier League for 100 different charges is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, cheeky Nando's on Sunday definitely did the job. Manchester City beat, and Harry Kane... Arsenal fan, of course, although he denies it now, but we know the truth, Harry. He dyed his hair red, wore an Arsenal kit and went to the parade. There's no getting away from that. Big up to everyone for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, C-Unit Business, and all of that good stuff, people. Justice must be served for Manchester City. Pep has travel sickness. Yeah, apparently the journey from Manchester to London is... just way too long for him. My weekend has been turned 180 settings. Saturday, I was fuming. Sunday, got a little bit better. Monday, I do feel better. But I'm still not going to let Arsenal off the hook. And we're going to talk about it in today's show, people. Because let's get one thing clear. Manchester City dropped 3 points yesterday, right? But we still dropped 3 points on Saturday. And we played a worse team than them. We could actually be 8 points clear with a game in hand now. So it doesn't take away from the fact what we did, but it's definitely eased things a little bit. Definitely thoughts and prayers with everyone suffering in Syria and Turkey. I think there's been an earthquake over there that's affected loads of people. So I hope everyone is safe and well over there, man. Terrible news. Great stream yesterday, Big Steve. I don't remember that one, South London's Finest. I have no recollection of that stream at all. It did not happen. I refuse to believe I was involved in that Nando's against Man City stream at all. So we move on from that. But as we say, people, for the greater good, it was necessary, people. Right, I'm going to talk quickly about... Manchester City, or Manchester Cheaty as they call us, as Nimbo's calling them. I'm going to briefly talk about Manchester City, the financial dopers, people. Obviously, you've all heard the news. It's all over the place. Manchester City have been allegedly breached the Premier League financial rules over 9 seasons, 100 different times. They are believed to have cheated the rules. This is why Arsene Wenger's on my background today, because he did it the right way. In the end, it went wrong and I was disappointed. And trust me, I would take the oil money right now. I'm shameless. You know, if you got to open petrol stations and pump oil into the club, then pump oil by all means necessary. But Wenger won that title doing it the clean way, you know. Manchester City are under full investigation. They have been charged for an alleged breach 100 times over a spell of 9 seasons, people, which is unbelievable. So you're looking at 10 to 12 times a season. They are breaking the rules. Now, I want to keep this into context, right? I want to keep this in context because as Arsenal fans, we're obviously a little bit, oh, you know, could this win us the league? Will City get... For me, I don't think Manchester City's punishment will come into effect this season if they even do get punished this season. I think anything that happens, you got to think, people, it's February right now. Big up Salman for becoming a member. You was a member before, so you must have just renewed. Big up to you, bro. I don't think any kind of ban or points deduction or major fine would happen this season. We're now in February. The season ends in, what, March, April? 3 months till the end of the season. I don't see how they can be found guilty and charged in 3 months. It's such a serious, strong allegation. One of the biggest we've ever had in the Premier League. So I know Arsenal fans are a little bit excited and hoping that, like people are saying, they get the Juventus treatment. I don't think it will happen quickly. Now, it's come out that they can't take this to the Court of Arbitration and appeal it, but they can take it to a normal court, and they will get lawyers involved. If the Premier League gave them a points deduction, they're not just going to take that on the chin. When UEFA tried to fine them, UEFA banned them from the Champions League for 2 years and fined them 30 million euros. They turned up with about 20 lawyers in court, and the ban got, thrown out of court, and they got a 10 million euro fine, which is pocket change to these billionaires. So I wouldn't get too excited by it, people. I've got to be honest. And you know what? A lot of people have said this, and I want to know your opinions on this. A lot of people are saying they don't want Manchester City to get banned and fined. They're saying if Arsenal are going to win the title, do it the right way. Let's not win it through them getting deducted points. How do you feel about that? Would you be happy for them to be deducted points and we win the title? Or do you want them to go head-to-head with us and we just beat them? I look at it like this. I understand the morals around that. Yeah, I want to beat them the right way. But listen, if they're found to be cheating, take the points off them, man. I ain't got time to sit here and be all conscious. If they're cheats, take the points off them. Simple. I get it. From a footballing point of view, I can't lie. I would hate people to say, oh, you only won the league because City got deducted points. I hear you on that. But if I see Odegaard lifting that title, I'll still be at the parade. Let Manchester City deal with their own problems. But as I said, people, I don't think any kind of ban, any kind of points deduction, I don't think it happens this season. There's 3 months until the end of the season. I don't see how the Premier League get that into effect. So I wouldn't get too excited with it, if I'm being totally honest. Let me just read these few super chats. Bleck said, Arteta smelled it. Jesus and Zinchenko confirmed it. Pep just woke up and realised he was in dreamland. Shame, man. Do you know what? People saying that Arteta's snitched. People saying Arteta, he saw the books before he left. He's just leaked it all to the Premier League. A Pepcation is definitely needed right now, Bleck. Yeah, man. Pep looked stressed yesterday, man. That little bit of hair he had left, it's definitely going grey. I cannot lie, people. He looks mad stressed. Southern Gooner, big up to you, bro. As always, he said, 96 Niall Quinn settings unlocked. Manchester City versus Torquay will be a nice watch. If they deduct, they deduct. Yeah, man, listen, I get you. We want to win it the right way. But listen, if points have to disappear, then points have to disappear. They're cheats. Take the points and run, people. I need to see armpits at the end of May. I'm about that life. Let them play Torquay away in League One. Arteta 6'9", yeah, he dropped a dime, man. He's moving like Gunner. These men are getting a Rico case, and Arteta's moving like Gunner right now. Arteta 6'9", dropping info all over the place, people. It's all mad. DN said they have not been doing it the right way for 10 years. Listen, they're getting their just desserts if it's proved to be true. So one thing I just wanted to say before I move on from this Manchester City case, I just want to give you a little story about Manchester City, right? Listen, I think we all know, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that Manchester City are, how have they been able to do this, right? They have not sold many players for big money. They're consistently spending big. Clearly, books have been manipulated. I don't care what anyone says. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. I just want to give you this little story, right, about Manchester City. This is just one thing, by the way. Manchester City were being sponsored by a crypto company. They dropped the sponsorship deal this year. Now, apparently, this crypto company was unheard of. Nobody had ever heard of them. They were giving Manchester City 15 million euros a season, which is about 12, 13 million pounds a season, right? Because the company had never been heard of, it was investigated. Okay, this company's giving you 15 million euros a season, but we've never heard of them. Let's find out who they are. When the company was investigated, The company had no office, no staff, and no previous bank transactions apart from the Manchester City sponsorship. That's a bit interesting. You've got £15 million a season, but you don't have an office and you've never done business anywhere in the world. When they investigated the company, they found out it was being ran from a mailbox in London. They just had a PO box. It's literally a letterbox. So a letterbox was producing €15 million a season with no previous transactions. Now, I got a B in GCSE maths, but I don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out something smells a little fishy around here, Pep. You know what I mean, Pep? I'm telling you. Your accounts are in trouble when Arteta's in the room. Your accounts are in trouble when Arteta's in the room. Da 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 da. I'm telling you, Arteta seen them books. He said, listen, I'ma save that for a rainy day. If we ever get into a title race, you man are going down without a trace. I'm telling you, Mikel made the call over the weekend. I'm convinced. We dropped points at Everton. He said, listen, man, ring the alarm. Let them know what was going off. Leak all the info. You know, your accounts are in trouble when Arteta's in the room. He knew what was going on, man. Don't have to sing, man. It's Monday. I'm in a good mood. City lost. Pep's complaining he's got jet lag travelling from Manchester to London. And now this comes out. So €15 million a season is coming out of a letterbox. You do the maths, people. Let me give you the second one. I have more evidence here, people. If anybody from the FA is tuned in as well, I'm helping. I'm helping here. I'm not doing a gunner. I ain't cooperating, but I'm just putting it out there. It's public information. Anybody can get hold of this information. Exhibit B, people. Exhibit B. See, I do what's necessary for the football club. Anybody from Arsenal, if you're watching this, you can take this with you. Throw it at Pep. This is there. There's no snitching. It's there on Google. It can be found, but I'm just leading you in the right direction. Manchester City, let's get the book thrown at them. Right, Exhibit B, people. Let's get the second one. We're not letting them off lightly here, people. Right, let's go. On January the 6th, Manchester City unveiled a new global sponsorship agreement. The club website promoted the new partnership with Mazda, a renewable energy and sustainable development company. Not Mazda, the car company. This is some unheard of company that we've never heard of, by highlighting the launch of campaign aimed at raising awareness, blah, blah, blah. Right, let me just skip through this. I've got to take you to the bottom part of this because we're pulling Man City down today, people. I'm not letting them off. I'm sick of all this, right? The letterbox first. Now, let me just get you to this. Let me skip through this. What the Manchester City press release did not mention, you forgot to mention it, did you? You billion-dollar owners forgot to mention this, is that Mazda is owned by the Mubadala Investment Company. Mubadala is a sovereign wealth fund of Abu Dhabi, and the chief executive of Mubadala is the businessman Khaldoon Al Mubarak, who is also the chairman of, guess who? Manchester City Football Club. Now, just to give you context, you cannot invest in your own business from a different company. That is falsifying the amount of money that your club owns. Take this in, people. Anyone from Arsenal, you're watching this, clip it. We're trying to take them down, right? We need to win the title. I'm helping you here. I'm doing my best. He owns a company that sponsors his football club, but he didn't tell people that he owned the company. Maybe he was trying to hide some information. I don't know. It's there. It's on Google. Anybody can find it. We ain't doing a gunner right here, people. But money's being recycled. It's going out of that pocket into the other pocket. Now, I don't know what you think, but I'm going to end it there, people. I will not say no further. Nothing further to say, Your Honour. Nothing further to say. If you got to take Manchester City down, then so be it. I've got no problem. Sean Goater, Paul Dickov, get them in League One, drilling them away. I'm fine with that. I've had enough. I can't lie, I've had enough. Pep Guardiola, Haaland, all this money, I've had enough. Take them down. I've had enough, right? Let's get them back to where they rightfully belong. League One playoff final. I've done my duty. Anyone who ever says, you don't do enough for the club. I've just given you 5 minutes worth of sufficient evidence that you can throw at them. They're getting 15 million out of a letterbox. Nothing further to say, Your Honour. Anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Let me get these super chats in. Premier League should take City's last four. Should change their last 4 titles to runners up. It could happen. Bowley to bid 150 million for City dock points. Yeah, Bowley will probably go for Pep Guardiola. Sam said P.O. Box FC, you know, P.O. Box producing 15 million a season. MJ, big up Big C. If City's Prems get voided, how many more Prems do you have, man? Asking for a friend. All right, I get it. You know, you got to come for me. The year we came second, Leicester won it. So, yeah, we wouldn't even get that title. So, yeah, it doesn't benefit us. SG, CIA settings, it was an inside job. Big up to you. Cinco Paint. Pep can be Arteta's cone man. Listen, water bottles need filling up, Pep. If you want a job, we'll take you. If you can handle the jet lag, though, from Manchester to London. Curtis Shameless Shaw, by any means necessary, people. By any means necessary. We are pulling Man City down today, people. Why always me said Kurtlock Holmes. And sponsored by Brown Envelope, says Charles Stewart. Listen, I done my due diligence before I turned up today. Agent Shaw Congo. Listen, I'll do whatever's necessary for Arsenal to win that Premier League. I've thrown you a little, you know, there's a little stuff. You can take that in court if you need it, Arsenal. I can't turn up, but I'm convinced Arteta has leaked information. He knew. We lost to Everton. He said, that's it. We're going for him. Anyway, let's move on. Enough about Manchester City. They're not our business. Like I said, as much as I'm hoping and this, that, the other, I think they'll end up with a heavy fine. I've got to be honest. I think they end up with an heavy fine. I was reading something about Manchester City, that Manchester City, let me just give you an example, right? They gave part of their training ground to the council so that the council can use it for things within the city. They reckon they're going to build 10 more hotels over the next 12 months to deal with how many people are now visiting Manchester. I went to Manchester the other week. I've been to Man City's training ground 7 or 8 times. Manchester is now seen as one of the biggest footballing cities in the world. Having one giant football club in the city is great. Manchester United are a giant. It is what it is. Having 2 of that level of success, you become a monster city. So many people now go to Manchester. They've built new houses. That east side of Manchester, where Manchester City is, was a little bit run down. They've built new houses. They've built hotels. They've got a huge training ground, huge stadium. They've provided jobs. They've given part of the training ground to the council. The Premier League will have a real difficult decision on their hands, because if they throw the book at Manchester City, that Manchester City owner might just say, all right, cool, I sell the club and I take all my money back. Yeah, and Pep leaves and that club goes back down the drain. And the Premier League have to figure out whether they're prepared to do that. And I'm not sure they are. So we will see. We will see, people. We need the Sheik on the green screen. Yeah, the Sheik on the green screen, man. Maybe for the next one. Big up Nay in the chat. You're gassed in it. Bro, I'm not, I'm not, because I don't think the Premier League are about that life. I think Man City will get a big, big fine, and I think they'll get away with it. Jesse March has been sacked by Leeds United, people. A few of you were saying it in the comments. I've just seen it on Twitter. I think he's a poor manager. Saw Leeds yesterday against Forest. They were terrible. Jesse March has been sacked by Leeds United after defeat yesterday against Nottingham Forest. Be interesting to see who gets the Leeds job. New manager bounce, people. Interestingly enough, Leeds United's next game is against Manchester United. So let's see if they get the new manager bounce. That'll be interesting. Right, let's concentrate on Arsenal, people. 2,000 of you in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Great watch along yesterday. Disappointing watch along on Saturday, of course. Still not happy with the performance of Arsenal, I've got to be honest. Yesterday made it better, but I'm still not happy. I'm still not happy, I have to admit, because at the same time, I'm thinking we could have been 8 points clear with a game in hand. But it is what it is, people. I'm just briefly going to look back on the game maybe with a quick player ratings. I'm not gonna talk about the press conference reaction and all that. To be honest, the less said about this game, the better. We got bullied, we got battered, and we got very much bruised and sent home, which is crazy when you look at the fact we had 71% possession. Don't it tell you that possession in a football match is not necessarily that important if you don't damage the opposition when you've got the ball? You know, we played 639 passes. They played 252. It does not matter if you don't hurt their defence. It's about what you do in the penalty area. We were poor. This was the worst performance of the season by far. And listen, we can talk new manager bounce, but Sean Dyche is not a magician. He's not David Blaine. You know, he didn't sit in a box for 30 days drinking water. He just came in, did a bleep test, played 4-4-2 and put crosses into the penalty area, and we couldn't live with it. And I just hope that is not the blueprint for other clubs to understand how to beat us. One thing I think with Arsenal is that we don't seem to have a plan B. We play a certain way, and when it works, we usually win, right? We're difficult to live with. But when it doesn't work, I feel like I kind of wish we had like Olivier Giroud, who was actually a player that I don't think we fully got the best out of because we didn't have wingers that crossed the ball. But sometimes in games you just think, I wish we had a Giroud on the bench. We could go a little bit direct and we could put crosses in and do something different. It's like we have to play perfect football to win. I think we need, moving forward, to have a different option. I think we miss Gabriel Jesus, who is not necessarily totally different to Eddie, but I just think his ability to glue that front line together. And I think when you look at that front three, what you have to understand is that we have an inexperienced front three. You don't often see an inexperienced front three win a title. Now, obviously, I'm hoping that changes with us. We've got 3 players up there that haven't played a lot of football, and I think Jesus is the leader of that attack. This is no disrespect to Eddie. Eddie has done well since he's come in. I'm still a little bit on the fence as to how good I think he is, but I still think that Gabriel Jesus is the number 1 striker. Some people were debating when Eddie was scoring, would Jesus get back in the team? I think he does. I still think he's the number 1 striker. I'm quickly going to go through the team. I can tell you now there's 3 players out of that 11 that come out of this game with any kind of credit. Aaron Ramsdale, Gabriel and William Saliba. They're the only 3. Everybody else, they stunk out the place. Every single one of them. Ben White, I think it's getting to a point with Ben White, and I'm going to say it. Football is based on what you're doing, not what you've done. And it seems very short-sighted when you say that because Ben White has been fantastic for us this season. I'm going to say 2 things about Ben White. Ben White has had 2 very poor Premier League games in a row now. He struggled against Dwight McNeil, and he struggled badly against Rashford in his last home game. I don't think Ben White gets the best out of Bukayo Saka, and I don't think Zinchenko gets the best out of Martinelli. And it's difficult because Zinchenko is so pivotal to the way we play in midfield, and Ben White's been so good this season, but I think Martinelli is screaming out for a fullback who overlaps him, and I think Saka the same on the other side. I actually think Tomiyasu may have to come back into this team soon, just to help Saka. I just don't think Ben White, over the last 2 games, Ben White has looked like a centre-back playing right-back, and Zinchenko's playing like a centre midfielder. You do not help your wingers. So Ben White struggled. Zinchenko, I thought, was average, gave the ball away, didn't help Martinelli. That's not the role he's in there for, unfortunately. But he just doesn't help him. They're both quality players, and it's not their fault. Ben White's not a natural fullback, so naturally he stays behind Saka. And Zinchenko's being told to tuck into midfield, so it's not the player's fault. It's just the way it is. We really could do with fullbacks that get on the outside, but he wants one dropping into midfield, so maybe we can't do it. As I said, Zinchenko was poor as well. Gabriel and Saliba, I thought, did well. I thought Calvert-Lewin caused them problems. I thought they were solid. I thought Ramsdale did really well in goal. Probably stopped it from being more. The three in midfield were awful. Thomas Partey, people saying he wasn't fully fit. I don't know, but he was awful as well. Gave the ball away. Xhaka was awful. Gave the ball away. Couldn't run. Odegaard, it was a performance I've seen before from him, especially last season. Physical game away from home. He's not up for it. He can't handle that physical battle. Onana and Decore and Idrissa Gana Gay, they ran all over our midfield. They bullied us. And then the front three didn't happen. Martinelli, I was celebrating before the game when I saw Seamus Coleman at right back. He didn't go past him once. He used his experience. They put two players on him, Iwobi and Coleman. He didn't get any joy. Saka, he tried. It didn't work. Ben White didn't overlap him either. He got Mikalenko booked, but it just didn't happen. And Eddie didn't really do much. He had one decent chance and he snatched it and put it wide. And the front three didn't do anything, and we made changes. The changes didn't make any difference. In fact, I could argue we maybe even got a little bit worse. I'm going to say one thing about Granit Xhaka, and this isn't reactionary. Granit's having his best season at the football club. Let's make no mistake about that. And he deserves credit. It's a player I wanted out the door for years. Granit Xhaka needs upgrading this summer. Not reactionary, not based off one game. This football club have to continue to move forward. He's having a very good season, but let's be mindful of the fact Granit is 31 this year. He's 31 this year, and Liverpool are going to get taken over. Man United are going to get taken over. Chelsea are going to spend even more money. Man City, we don't know what's going to happen with them because of what's happened today. I think we need a younger, more mobile midfielder in the summer to upgrade Granit Xhaka, and you bring Granit Xhaka down to a squad player. I like him, and I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm not criticising him. We can't have four centre midfielders in their 30s. Thomas Partey's nearly 30, Xhaka's nearly 31, Jorginho's 31, and El Nenny's nearly 31. None of them can really run. So we need another midfielder in the summer. I like Xhaka this season, but I'd love to see Jude Bellingham. I don't think that happens, but we're going to talk transfers after this. So forget the game. Arteta's substitutions. I mean, maybe Partey wasn't fully fit. I couldn't understand why he took him off, even though he wasn't having a good game. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We're giving a new contract to El Neni. There's no way they'll upgrade Xhaka. And that's the problem. With four centre mids all contracted, do they buy another midfielder? They have to. We're going to be in the Champions League next season. You can't go in the Champions League with Partey, Xhaka, El Neni and Jorginho. There's no mobility there or anything. So, I don't know. It was a shocking performance. The changes didn't make no difference. And it was a day to forget. Worst performance of the season. Worse than the Man United defeats. We actually played well at times against United. We never looked like winning that game. Bleck said Tomiyasu and Saka is a great combination. I think we might have to look at it soon. I really do. And Mikel said Theo Hernandez is available for 50 million. Would you? He's a left back, right? The only thing is, unless Tierney leaves, I don't think we'll sign a left back. So I like Theo Hernandez, although he got ripped apart by Saka in the World Cup. I think we might need a right back more, to be honest. An attacking right back, I think we could do with. Somebody different. But we'll see. We'll see. That was a game to forget. We stunk out the place. And we got a big game this week against Brentford, who are in good form. But I just take some hope from the fact that we're at home. Jorginho, by the way, I don't think Jorginho had a bad game when he came on. I don't want to scapegoat him for the defeat. I'm not happy with the signing. I'm still not happy. People sent me pictures with his stats. But like I said, I've just got to accept it, and that's all I can do at the end of the day. But Yeah, Lamptey from Brighton, somewhere like that. There's just certain games in there that certain clubs, for some reason, can't seem to deal with. Man City don't seem to be able to beat Tottenham at their ground. We can't seem to beat Everton. They just bully us. The pitch looked horrible. It was a Sean Dyche masterclass, let's be real. But we move on. We move on. Let's take the positives. We're top of the Premier League. We're still 5 points clear. We've got a game in hand now. Manchester City dropped points. I suppose there was always going to be bumps in the road. I've got to be honest, I was fuming on Saturday. I was fuming. And the reason, some people thought I went a little bit over the top, but the reason I was so disappointed is it's not because we lost, it's how we lost. I didn't think I would ever see those performances where we got bullied and beat up off the pitch. You know, I thought having power in midfield wouldn't affect us. Xhaka's a strong guy. Partey's a strong guy. Odegaard's very elusive on the ball. I just didn't expect to see a team do that. And we do have to put into account that Everton are second from bottom. You know, we didn't lose to a team in the top 6 that's on form. We lost to a team in the bottom 2 that hadn't won a game in, 8-9 games? 1 point from their last 15. They're shocking. So, listen, but it was disappointing. I don't even want to keep harping on about it. It is what it is. Yeah, you could be right. Power, but no legs. We got power, but a lot. I tell you something. I don't know if Onana's been performing like that all season, but we might be better off looking at him than Caicedo. He's 21, 6'4" or 6'5". He can run. He can pass. I mean, he was crunching our players. I'd be looking at him, by the way. Caicedo at 80, 90 million. This brother Onana, bro, I think I'll be looking at him as well. But listen, we move on. Let's look at it in a more positive light. Mancini's the front runner for the Leeds job. He would be a fantastic appointment. I think he's a brilliant manager. But the positives, top of the league. We're 1 game closer to the end of the season. 18 to go. 18 to go, people. As you can see, our form, if you look at the last 5, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. We just got to tidy that up a bit. You know, we got some big games coming up. We have to beat Brentford because we know the following week we have Manchester City. I think Manchester City is a must-win game. I think we've got to beat them. City play Villa at the weekend at home. I think City will beat Villa. I think we will beat Brentford. That would lead both of us into that Wednesday night fixture, the day after Valentine's. Arsenal against Man City. That game would be off the Richter. A victory would put us 8 points clear with a game in hand. Our game in hand, funnily enough, is Everton at home. So it will be a great opportunity for us to get a little bit of revenge on them. But hey, it is what it is. I don't get what you've done this season is new. The way you've played your last 2 seasons is your actual normal. Now, I think this season we've stepped it up. I think we've gone to another level this season. We've always had a similar style of football. But I think this year we've taken it to new heights. I think Zinchenko, I think Gabriel Jesus, they really lifted this club. Ben White's form, Saliba coming back was effectively a new signing. Xhaka's improved. Partey stayed fit. So I think we've gone to a different level this season. That is for sure. Onana had a great game. Still don't think we should get gassed about him. Xhaka is having a good season too. Still doesn't mean top clubs want or should sign him. I think the difference, the only reason I'm looking at it like that is because Onana has a lot of qualities that we lack. Real mobility and pace and drive and power. Xhaka is 30. He can't run. It's taken him 5 years to have this season, or in fact 7 years, I think, to have this season. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. 1 game doesn't mean he's a world beater. We'll have to see. Big up Curtis. Joe Willock can run all weight. We sold him. Do you know what? I didn't mind Arsenal selling Joe Willock. He went on loan, played well. There was 25 million. He was never going to start for Arsenal. He didn't look the same player for Arsenal that he looked for Newcastle either. So, definitely stepped it up this season. Yeah, I think we've gone to a new level. I think Saliba and Jesus and Zinchenko, those 3 in particular, effectively new players, even though we already own Saliba. That's really pushed us up a level. Anyway, let's talk about a few other things. Let's talk transfers. The window is closed, but it doesn't mean the transfer rumours are not still swirling around the football club. Do you know what, Elliot? I saw you telling Robbie about Onana as well. I saw that on AFTV. So big up. By the way, I'll be on AFTV at 5 o'clock today. with Laurie, and we'll be talking all things Arsenal, of course, so make sure you tune in for that one. News coming out of Italy today, people. I want to know your thoughts on this. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic on his way out of Lazio. Now, I want to know, this is interesting for me because we're being linked, of course, with Declan Rice, and I'm going to talk about that story again after, because that story's come to the forefront again. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic will leave Lazio due to his desire to try a new experience, with his decision now irreversible. Arsenal remain the favourite destination of the player, and they have taken the most convinced steps in signing him. Now, apparently last season we were interested in him and the player wasn't overly enthused. We weren't in the Champions League, we weren't playing great football. It wasn't an attractive proposition. However, this season, we're high-flying, we're playing good football. Of course he would want to come if possible. Now, his game has changed a little bit in the last year or so. He's a centre midfielder, could definitely play next to Thomas Partey, but he's got a goal in him and he has definitely changed his game massively. Last season, 11 goals, 11 assists. This season, in 19 games, 4 goals, 8 assists. He is 6'3", 27 years of age. And I'm going to be honest, I think Arsenal should be all over this deal. Absolutely all over this deal. He's been at Lazio for a number of years. He's been there since 2015. It's believed he wants out. He wants a new challenge. At some stage, they were rating this guy at like 100 million euros. Yeah, the facial hair is mad. I don't know where he's going with that moustache. But listen, I don't care what he looks like as long as he comes in and improves the team. Now, the second part of this story, which is interesting, is this bit here. Milinkovic-Savic says he would rather not leave on a free in 2024. So this summer he'll have a year left on his contract. Lazio are not massively, loaded with cash. There's no way they can allow him to continue at the club and run down his deal. He's their most expensive asset. Milinkovic-Savic would rather not leave on a free in 2024 to not cause heaving damage to Lazio, but they will need to set a fair price. The 100 million euros wanted in the past is now a distant memory, and even hopes of receiving 50 or 60 million this summer are a mirage. I mean, I've read the whole story. I had to translate it on Corriere dello Sport. They reckon he will cost around £40 million. Now, you're right, MO7. Easy deal for Edu to get done. We know that Edu, if it's a difficult deal, he ain't getting it done. This is light work. We'll be in the Champions League. We could potentially be the champions of the whole league. A year left on his deal, 40 million euros. He earns 90,000 a week. You probably have to give him 150, 160. It's an absolute no-brainer. Apparently, he didn't want to leave in the middle of the season because Lazio are chasing Champions League football this season. He obviously has a lot of loyalty to the club. This, for me, I would rather spend 40 million on him than spend 90 million, 100 million on Declan Rice. If you could get both of them, no problem, but I think he would be brilliant next to Thomas Partey. He's big, he's strong, he's got a goal in him, he's got a pass. I'd take him all day long. I would take it. Man said as long as he speaks Portuguese, we'll be all over it. Nah, Curtis, 6'9" Short TV. I'm behind in the stream. Tears, man. Man said your books are in trouble when Arteta's in the room. Big up, Curtis. Smash the likes. Listen, if we need to pull Manchester City down to win the title, then so be it. We will pull them down. If I can find evidence in 10 minutes on Google, then imagine what the Premier League are going to do when they start getting lawyers and solicitors involved. They are guilty. Throw the book at them. It is financial doping. Yeah, I would love to win the league the right way. Go head to head and just win it and be the best team. But if they got to lose 10 points, 15 points, they've been cheating, then take the points off them and run. I don't mind. But as I said before, I'm not getting excited. I don't think Manchester City will lose points, and I don't think they'll lose them this season. There's only 3 months until the end of the season. City will get lawyers out, solicitors. They'll take it to court. It'll be delayed and delayed and delayed. And I don't think anything will happen till next season. So it's not that big a deal for me right now. it will affect probably next season more. Is Arteta involved? I mean, you do the maths. You do the maths. We lose to Everton, and a full investigation gets started on Manchester City. You do the maths. You know, we had a bad weekend. He pressed the emergency button. Damn, we just got bullied at Everton. He probably thought City were going to beat Tottenham. What have I got to do? Right, where's that paperwork? Oh, I said I wouldn't do this, but I'll just drop it in the police station letterbox. That's what I think Arteta's done. He just dropped it through the letterbox. You know that same letterbox that they're getting 15 million a season? I think Arteta's involved. We lost, and then an investigation. You do the maths, but do what you need to do, Mikel. You know what I mean? I'm joking, by the way, people. Bad Bath, secret agent Arteta stealing their players and then mailing the brown envelope. Trust me, he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. To be honest, wouldn't mind taking a couple of players off Man City if it all goes wrong. Pep Guardiola once said if he ever finds out that the club has been cheating, he will walk out the door straight away. So can you imagine if they get found guilty, points taken off them, Pep goes back to Barca, fire sale at Man City, turn up and take your pick, people. Who do we need off Man City? Let's take a couple Man City players. I'll take De Bruyne for 2 years next to Thomas Partey. I know he's 30, but I'll take him. Haaland. I could get my head around Haaland. I'll take Ruben Diaz. Yeah, why not? We'll take a few players off them. Yeah, we've had an anonymous tip. It's signed Cone Man music at the end of it. Not too sure what that means, but read this. Take the points off Pep. The bold fraud, Cone Man music. Not sure who that is, but yeah, I think they've had an anonymous tip-off at the local. Yeah, we'll take Foden, Rodri, Mahrez. Yeah, Pep can be our Cone Man. We'll flip the script. Pep, put the cones down, fill up the water bottles. Gabriel Jesus is thirsty fella. Fill up them bottles. Let's talk about another midfielder being linked to the mighty table-topping Gooners. You buy Haaland, you get De Bruyne free. I said, you buy Haaland, you get De Bruyne absolutely free. We'll raid Man City, man. Everything's a pound, people. Everything must go, people. Take the lot. Take the lot, people. Right, Declan Rice and Peas again. He's twerking for us again. We get it, Dec. We get it. You're desperate to join us. We play great football. He gets on well with Saka. And he hugs Arteta all the time after the games. We get it. I mean, this is where I'm at with Dec. If we get you at the right price, I'll take you, but I'm not breaking the bank for him. I got plenty of rice in the cupboards. Man said, £1 fish. Come and have a look. £1 fish. Erling Haaland, very, very cheap. Kevin De Bruyne, very, very cheap. £1, £2, £1 fish. Erling Haaland, £2 fish. Kevin De Bruyne, £1 fish. Take the lot, man. Take the lot. Everything must go. Get yourself to Manchester. You might be jet lagged when you get there, though. Pep says the journey's too long. He's shattered. The Manchester to London journey, it's way too much. Cheers, Pep. That's where you know Pep's struggling, you know. He's complaining about mad things now. It is what it is, people. Where was I? I'm all over the place. Yeah, Declan Rice, anyway. Rice and Peas, man. Rice and Peas. Yeah, man. If you want to give us a good deal, Moisey, I'll take the rice. But, you know, I'm not desperate for it. I can't lie. 50, 60 mil. I'll take it, but you know what? We'll wait till Man City have this fire sale, man. 50 million at Man City, that probably gets me Rodri, Foden and Haaland. Everything must go. You know what I'm saying? So I might wait. But nah, in all fairness, Declan Rice is favouring a move to Arsenal over Chelsea as he'd like to work with Mikel Arteta. I mean, I don't know where I'm at with Declan Rice, you know. If they're asking for crazy dough for him, if I hear anything near 100 million, I'm walking away calmly as well. I'm walking away calmly, people. I ain't in no rush to spend 100 million on Uncle Ben's. I'm really not. Like someone just said, Uncle Ben, I got plenty of rice in the cupboard. I don't need to spend 100 million on Declan Rice and Peas. I just don't. There's all kinds of English and Premier League tax attached to this deal. So, yeah, man. I'm not desperate for this deal. Of course he wants to join us, man, because He's looking at Chelsea, who he's going to go to. Chelsea probably not going to be in the Champions League. Chelsea manager's Graham Potter, who looks like he could get sacked next year. You know, there's about 50 players there, so you got competition for places. Of course he's going to want to come to Arsenal, man. I get it. But I'm not desperate for Declan Rice. I can't lie. Christian said, breaking, UEFA to strip City of all Champions League titles. I mean, I should laugh, but then we haven't won one either. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I am. We'll shamelessly enjoy it. Bad Bath, anonymous tip signed off by someone who's Fujin upset. Yeah, well, I reckon, it's signed Cone Man music at the bottom, man. A little anonymous tip from Arteta, but hey, don't take it serious, by the way. People will be like, oh, he said Arteta snitched on Pep. Bad Bath, Wenger won the Carabao Cup in his final season. We've done it again. Oh, yeah. They're going to take everything off City. So City beat us in the Carabao Cup final. We're actually going to win that Carabao Cup final. Daddy Wengs has done it again, people. You're right, Bad Bath. This is why he was on the background today, man. Oh, that's another good point, Don. Canelo. He got, Cancelo. What am I on about Canelo? Cancelo. He flew to Bayern and said, listen, man, you think you can throw me out of Man City? All right. He made the call on the plane. Said, listen, man, I got some information you need to hear about. Cancelo, Arteta tag-teamed Guardiola. It's therapy, but Uncle Curtis is happy. Bring Pep to be assistant to the Cone Man. Like I said, people, I know I called it Arsenal therapy, but we downgraded it. Because of Harry Kane's goal, because Man City are under full investigation, you know, it's been downgraded to just Arsenal advice, Arsenal awareness. You know, it's just a question and answer session. Just to get our feelings of how we felt about Saturday. I'm fuming about Saturday, but I've just got this little smirk in my head that I can't get out of my head for some reason. The shameless stream yesterday that didn't happen, as we're saying. And then Man City being investigated, I find it really funny. And if anyone keeps asking me, like, wondering why do I keep talking about Pep Guardiola, Pep made this comment over the weekend, which I thought was really funny. Ty would be proud of this one, actually. When Ty said we lost to Watford because it was raining. This is straight out of that. Big up Ty, by the way. No disrespect. We saw him on TV at the weekend. Big up Ty. But Pep Guardiola came out with this wonderful comment. Coming from Manchester to London, it's like going to Northern Europe. It's 4 hours and 20 minutes to get to a hotel. It's so exhausting. I'm sorry. I mean, Pep. I've rated Pep as probably the best manager in the world, but when you start saying things like this, Pep, I actually love this comment. I love every single word of this comment, because they say every genius has an element of madness attached to them. I think that's why a lot of greats end up in a sad way. You look at Mike Tyson as a boxer. You look at Michael Jackson. A lot of greats end up in sad situations. This, to me, is the first sign of delusion from Pep. And I'm sorry, people, but that delusion makes me very happy. Because I want to see armpits in May. If you don't know what armpits means, Odegaard lifting the trophy, which means we see armpits. I think Pep's starting to crack up. I got to be honest. Pep had bags under his eyes yesterday. I'm not even capping. He looked tired. Maybe it was the jet lag, Manchester to London. I'm not being funny. They've got the second richest owners in the Premier League after the Newcastle owners. Are you telling me they can't jump on a little private jet, Manchester to London? I think it takes about 40 minutes. Your owner's worth billions. You're sponsoring yourself by 15 million euros a year for a letterbox. They can't just jump on a little private jet. You know, I speak to players who play in the Championship, who get planes from the south to the north of the country. You telling me the second richest owners in the Premier League don't get a private jet? You know, I love this comment. This comment tells me that Pep is breaking down, people. There is oil leaking out of the engine. The Manchester City, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Aston Martin, it's starting to fall apart. There is a little bit of rust on the engine. I'm telling you, Pep's getting grey hairs. The few hairs he's got, he's going grey. He's going a bit crazy. I'm telling you, Ross, this delusion makes me happy. That's the most shameless thing. I'm telling you, any gooner in the chat. Do you know what? Let me say this. I'm going to just say this now. I'm saying this. Let me just say this. And Big Steve, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Because I like Big Steve. I think it's time for Manchester City to cool off now. You've proved your point. You've proved your point. Aguero, last minute winner. Unbelievable. Most iconic moment. Pep Guardiola, best manager in the world. Oil money. Buy whoever you want. I think it's time to relax now. New stadium, new training ground. Just calm down now. Let's get them back mid-table. When Sven-Goran Eriksson and Mark Hughes were there. And they were losing 8-0 at Middlesbrough. You know what I mean? I think... Let's restore clarity in the Premier League. Arsenal, Manchester United, the two top clubs, the best rivalry in the Premier League. Heritage, football heritage, as Mourinho said. We've had enough. Do you know when Man City lost yesterday? I was like, yes, City have lost. I picked up my phone, I said, yo, let me banter a Man City fan. I looked in my contacts and I was like, he supports Arsenal, he supports Man U, he supports Liverpool, Arsenal again. Oh, actually, I don't know any Man City fans, apart from Big Steve. I had no one to banter. If you can't banter your mate when the team loses, what's the point? Just get them back to mid-table, man. Take the points off them. The chairman sells, Pep resigns, 7 of their players leave, and they're mid-table with Joe up front, with... who did they have in their team? I can't even remember. Michael Ball at left back, and I can't even remember who used to. I don't even know who played for Man City. That's how bad it is. And just get Sean Goater back up front. Let's just restore clarity. Jack Rodwell and them, man. Yeah, man. I've had Elano and them, man. There, yeah, man. Just get Mark Hughes back, mid-table. Joey Barton, Dickov, Richard Dunn scoring own goals. I'm bored of it now. You know, when Man City win the league, it doesn't bother me one bit. When they win the league, I'm like, oh, City won the league. So what? Don't care. Don't know any fans. No one to banter. It don't mean nothing. If United win the league, I'm like, oh, damn. Their fans are never going to stop. If Liverpool win it, anyone wins it. But when City win it, I'm like, so, who cares? Don't know any of their fans anyway. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I've had enough now. You've had your run. You enjoyed it, Big Steve, but just... We need it to be restored now. Let's get back to what it should be. Gareth said, Pep's rattled and his madness is seeping out. It's a beautiful sight, people. Pep's got jet lag travelling from Manchester to London. I'm telling you, the engine is leaking, people. Believe me when I tell you this. The engine is leaking. Things are not good. Manchester City, that car is going to fail its MOT. Its MOT is at the end of May. And I tell you what, we're going to pass our MOT. I hope. And win that title. But if we don't, you know, I'll be here all week for the meltdown. Could the Etihad not lend them a plane? 4-hour bus journey, cry more. I mean, Pep's on 20 million a season. You know what I mean? And you're on a skills coach. You know what I mean? A National Express coach for 4 hours with no legroom. Come on, man. Sort it out, Pep. Klopp is the one agent. He always had one up to save his job. Genius move. Yeah, man, listen. I mean, Klopp actually looked like a broken man at the weekend. Maybe he's going... I'm telling you. These cars are broken down. These two machines, Liverpool and City. But then I think Liverpool will be good once the takeover comes in. I can't lie. I think they'll recover. But man's on a megabus. I'm telling you, them man are paying £2 for the megabus. Dial Square, Curtis, you and your flip-flop C unit. Saturday you were about to flick the Arteta out switch. And today it's back on and you're calling for the oil money. It's a bit harsh, but you're not far wrong, Dial Square. I'm here all week. 2 p.m, 4 p.m. Make sure you're tuned in and like the video. It's the beauty of football, my friend. It's a roller coaster. I wasn't going to flip the Arteta out switch, man. Come on. I was not at that point. But I was fuming with the transfer window. Cheers, Dial Square. I appreciate it. I embrace it. I don't hide from it. I'm here all week. We don't hide from it. It's the beauty, it's the emotion of football, people. On Saturday, I despised what happened. Today is Monday. I've got a smile on my face. City are under investigation. Kane just took 3 points off them. I'll be on AFTV at 5. I'm going to the Armoury on the way there just to see if anything new's in. I might even have a new t-shirt on by tomorrow. I'm here all week, people. It's the beauty of football. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Anyway, let's carry on. Samaras up front. Twice! That's the second time Dial Square's come for me. He's actually paying to have a go at me. It is what it is. Big up yourself. Skills, says Nick. More like a Cam's collapsible. If any of us subscribers are from Nottingham, they'll get it. Them old school buses, man. I'm here all week. What a legend. Anyway, let's move on. Pep's cracking up, people. Pep Guardiola is absolutely cracking up. What else did I have? I think that might have been it. Yeah, got to be honest. I'm out. I'm out of news, people. Did I have some? I thought I had one more thing. No, I'm done. I'm actually done. Oh, no, the fixtures. I was getting the fixtures up. Last thing. I had the fixtures up. Anyway, let me move on. Before Dial Square comes back and pays to have a go at me. It's Arsenal against Brentford. Let's make sure Ivan Toney's not having a kickabout with his mates. Because they're in good form, I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think they're 10 games unbeaten or something. They're in a great run of form at the moment. And they are going to be difficult to beat. I think I was looking. They have the best form in the league over the last 5 games. They are in a good space right now. But I do fancy us to beat them. I can't lie. We beat them away from home. And I just think we're a different animal at the Emirates. I just think we're a different animal. But they're dangerous because, again, they're a very, very physical team. Earlier in the season, Klopp said they were the most physical team he'd played against in the Prem. They're going to look at what Everton done and probably try and mimic that. And they have quality. But I do think we will get the better of them. With the fact it's at the Emirates. So, Brentford at home. Manchester City at home. Villa away, Leicester away, Bournemouth at home. They are our next 5 games. And these next 2 have got to be won before we go away. I think your home form is imperative. There's no way we can drop points against Brentford going into the Manchester City game. When you think that we lost to Man City in the Cup, we've then lost to Everton in the league. We can't make losing a habit. It's something we've got to figure out and deal with very, very quickly. I think we'll beat Brentford. Obviously, Man City, will talk about that. And the way the Brentford game goes will probably have a big effect on how the Man City game goes. If we beat Brentford, I fancy us to actually go and beat Man City at the Emirates on the Wednesday. If we lose, then I'm looking at that Man City game in a totally different light. Villa, 12:30 kickoff, as Edge just said as well. On a Saturday, another early kickoff. Unai Emery tax. They've had a bit of a turnaround. That'll be a tough game as well. And then Leicester away and then Bournemouth at home. So a big run of fixtures. Is an international break in March as well. Jashar said, big up Curtis. City owners have cleared out all their UK bank accounts. No January signings, no private planes, no title. It's funny when you look at some of these things though, innit, Jay? Like, Man City didn't sign anyone. They got rid of Cancelo and didn't replace him. Why not? Did they know they was riding a wave of trouble? They're now getting a coach from Manchester to London. Why are you not on a private jet? Why did they suddenly start selling players in the summer? Zinchenko, Sterling, Jesus. Maybe they needed some money because they knew them books were a mess, you know? It's all very interesting, that is for sure. Ajax God said, if any City fans in here, you're welcome to join Ajax when you guys get relegated to non-league football. Listen, most of them probably supported someone else anyway before they took Man City on. It is what it is, people. But listen, very interesting run of games. City's next game, City play Aston Villa at home this weekend. If they were playing City away, Villa away, I would think they could get something, but I'm hoping Leon Bailey and them, man, maybe can do something, but I'm not going to rely on it. Your boyhood club, Nottingham Forest, are 6 points behind Chelsea. Listen, it's my hometown club, my friend. But listen, I'm delighted for Forest. I really am. I think they'll stay up. And it's great for the City to have a team in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm delighted for Forest. But we need to beat Brentford. That's going to be a hard game this weekend, I can't lie. Ivan Toney, they're physical, they move the ball well, but I do think we'll beat them. We need Jesus back and we need ESR back. That's it. I did have one more thing to bring up before I round up the show. Do you know what's so funny about Twitter? Twitter is the funniest platform in the entire world, right? I just throw grenades on there and then turn my notifications off and let everyone just go crazy. I put out a thing saying we need Gabriel Jesus back ASAP. And people are like, oh, you're so disrespectful to Eddie Nketiah. And I'm like, bro, what has Jesus got to do with Nketiah? We need both of them back. And I'm like, it's so funny. It's so. You could put out a tweet saying the sky is blue. And somebody will say, you've got no respect for the colour red. That's the kind of reply that you would get on Twitter. It's the gift that keeps on giving, I can't lie. I can't believe it's free in this day and age. They should be charging you. But Gabriel Jesus, he's back in Brazil. He's flown to Brazil, which is understandable because it is easier usually to recover from injury in warmer climates. He's flown to Brazil. He's with his personal trainer. You probably can't see this, but his personal trainer has put up a video of Gabriel Jesus sprinting. This is him just here. You probably can't even see him properly. Running across the screen. There you go. Gabriel Jesus. Fast jog across the screen. And he's sprinting and he's kicking a ball. It doesn't look like he's putting a lot of power in the ball, I got to be honest. He's just side-footing it with not a lot of power. People know, innit? You know how Twitter, you say, oh, the sky's blue. They go, you are a disgrace. You've got no respect for the colour red. That's the world we live in, people. That is the world we live in. But Gabriel Jesus, he's running, he's jogging. I think there was a video with some weights next to him as well. And he was also kicking the ball. We need him back. We need him back. Just imagine, he will genuinely feel like a new signing when we get him back. Deitch to Man City. Oh, dear. Pep to be the new Leeds manager. Apparently, they're going for Mancini. Big up Beresford Productions. I think Mancini would be a great appointment for Leeds. He's a top manager. Right, people. How dare you insult Red? You are cancelled. People, thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. 2,600 of you in the chat. 38 of you on Twitch. Like the video, subscribe. Big up everyone who subscribed to the Curtis Shaw Clips channel. We gone past 1,000 on there last night. Don't forget to subscribe there as well. Shameless content galore. Saturday was bad for Arsenal. Sunday it got better. Monday it got even better. Let's enjoy the week. We'll look ahead to the game against Brentford on Saturday. I'll be on AFTV live at 5 o'clock with Laurie. Tune in for that. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock on here to talk all things Arsenal. Enjoy your Monday, people. Manchester City heading back to League One to face Gillingham. Sean Goater up front. And listen, if you buy Haaland, you get De Bruyne free. I said, if you buy Haaland, you get De Bruyne absolutely free. Take care, everyone. Bless.